So the first one we're going to look at is number 3. And it says we want to find the derivative at 0. So we want to find f prime of 0. That is our question. And I'll be honest, the most common mistake with this one is people forgot to then plug in 0. Like you found the derivative and just forgot to answer the question. So that was like a direction following thing. So just be careful. All right, so we're going to find the derivative and then we're going to plug in 0. So derivative of just x would be 1 minus, now e is itself, so e to the 3x, but then there's a chain rule there. We have to multiply on the derivative of 3x, which would be 3. And so then we're going to plug in 0. So this would be 1 minus, e to the 0 would be 1, and then we've got that times 3 there, so 1 minus 3 would give us -2. So -2 is our answer for that one. And actually, you know what, now that I'm looking at it, let me go back to 2 as well. This one went okay. The common mistake on this one is that people did more than they were supposed to. So let me go through this one. It says find the slope of the tangent line. That means the derivative at -3. So that's what the directions said. Find the derivative, slope of the tangent line at -3. I had people write a whole equation. I didn't take off for that, but on the AP exam, they will not give you credit because you didn't follow directions. You did more than the question was asking, which means that you didn't understand what the question was asking. I didn't take off for it, but just be careful with that. It was not asking for an equation, just the slope. So we're just going to find the derivative and then plug in -3. So again, like this test overall went really well. It was just like some direction following issues. All right, so this equation I'm going to rewrite as x to the -2. And so when we do the power rule, the -2 comes down and we subtract 1. So it becomes more negative, so -3. And then this would be -2 over x cubed. And so when we plug in -3 there, -3 cubed would be -27. And then the negatives are going to cancel, so 2/27. All right, and let me find. There's another one. Let's look at number 9. Now this one says write an equation. So this one we're going to do the whole thing. We're going to need a point and a slope, and we're going to write the whole equation. So that's the function. And then the point, I gave you the whole point, pi/2, 0. So that's the whole point. That's good. And so all we need is the slope. So we're going to find the derivative. And then for our slope, we're going to plug in pi/2. That is our point of tangency, our x value there. So we're going to plug pi/2 in. Now this is a product rule. X is the first function, cosine is the second function. So it will be first times derivative of the second, that'll be negative sine, plus the second function times derivative of the first. So derivative of x would just be 1. And then we're going to plug in pi/2 to that. So if we plug in pi/2 for x, that first part would be pi/2. And then sine of pi/2. Let me draw pi/2 on the unit circle. It would be up here. Sine is the y value, so that would be 1. And we're going to make it negative. So that would be -1 plus, now cosine of pi/2, cosine is the x value, so that would just be 0. And then times 1 would still be 0. So this slope is -pi/2. And so this is the point, this is the slope, and we'll just put it together into the equation. So y minus 0 equals the slope, and then x minus pi/2. And then the last one, and again, I'm really like stretching here to even find ones that were commonly missed because this test was real good. But let's look at 16C. So it says find the derivative of f of g of x. at x equals 1. So that is a chain rule. So you have to write out the rule and then evaluate it at 1. It was 2 points for the question. And I said when I, passed out the test, like I handed it to you. But when I went over the test before you guys took it, I said you have to write out the rule. So it is the derivative of the outside, leave the inside alone, and then chain on the derivative of the inside. All right, so now I'm going to need to bring the chart up here. So this is kind of like my answer key of the test. We're going to evaluate that at 1. So we're going to start with this part. So g of 1. So let's see. G of 1 would be 4. So I know that this part is 4. And then I'm going to do f prime of that. So f prime of 4. So bring this chart back over here. F prime of 4 is -7. So this first part is -7. And then for the second part, we're doing g prime of 1. Again, we're plugging in 1 for x here. So g prime of 1 is 9. And you don't have to simplify these. A lot of you did, but you can stop. Because say you multiply that wrong in your head, like it's -63, but say you were having an off day and you wrote -61, then it would be wrong. So, so you're better off just stopping there. All right, but I'll open it up to you guys now. You can type in the chat if there's another one from the test that you would like for me to go over for you. Oh, the bonus one. I'm gonna turn my paper sideways for that because that's so long. All right, so it is a product rule. This is the first function, this is the second function, and here I'll color code for them. Pull the markers out here. All right, so first function is going to be purple, second function is going to be green. So product rule says we want to do the first function times derivative of the second. So this is a chain rule with 3 links in the chain. The squared is the most outside, and then cosecant, and then the x cubed. So the 2 comes down. It's going to drop to a 1, which you don't have to write the 1 if you don't want to. And then next is cosecant. So the derivative of cosecant is negative cosecant cotangent. So negative cosecant cotangent. And then lastly, the x cubed derivative would be 3x squared. So this entire thing is the derivative of that second function. So that's first times derivative of the second plus, now this is going to be much shorter here, the second function times derivative of the first. So derivative of 4x squared minus 1 would be 8x. And I apologize. I think I left on there simplify by factoring. I didn't need you to do that. This is crazy. This is what I accepted as the answer. So it was a product rule. So first times derivative of the second, which was real long, plus second times derivative of the first. And if you got some of it right, I gave you some bonus. A bonus can't hurt you. You should just always try it. Anything else from the test that you would like for me to go over for you?